We are doing NBA player props on PrizePicks for Tuesday, April 18th. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks. You can use promo code TUFF, 100% deposit match. Discord link is in the description. Patreon link is in there as well. Again, I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully giving you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions. Again, let me know in the comments below at the end of this video how you guys feel about these plays. We got two plays here that I'm targeting for today's slate. We got a 3-game slate: Atlanta, Boston, Cleveland versus the Knicks, Clippers versus Phoenix. Should be a fun one. All three of these games this Boston-Atlanta game wasn't that great of a game, honestly. Kind of more of a blowout for Boston. But overall, I think we should see some bounce-back games here overall from most of the teams. But yeah, I got two plays I'm targeting. I am going to be playing the Jalen Brunson over 20.5 points. I just think it is a pretty good taco as far as the tacos we've been getting recently. So I do like Jalen Brunson over 20.5 points tonight. I'm going to be playing the over on that. But let's get into it. Two plays. Yeah, let's go. So the first one I like is going to be Jarrett Allen over 10 rebounds against the Knicks. So in the game one against the Knicks, Jarrett Allen played an insane 43 minutes in that game. In a loss, too, by the way. In a loss. So he played 43 minutes. I think we can definitely expect Jarrett Allen to continuously play 35 minutes. They don't really have a real big backup center, and the Knicks do run somewhat big with Julius Randle, Hartenstein, and Mitchell Robinson. It's like the Knicks don't really run a small ball ever, so I'm expecting Jarrett Allen to continually play 35 plus minutes. If you take a look at Jarrett Allen in 2 games this season versus the Knicks already in the regular season, back in October he had 13 rebounds in 26 minutes, and then back in January he had 12 rebounds in 39 minutes. So he's hit the over on this in 2 games versus the Knicks in the regular season, and then obviously in game 1 had 14 rebounds in 43 minutes. He had 14 rebounds, 11 defensive rebounds, and 3 offensive rebounds. So we take a look at those potential rebounds for Jarrett Allen in game 1. He had 28 rebounding chances. 28 rebounding chances, converted 14, you guys. Even if we get some mild negative regression here, or just regression, and we see Jarrett Allen get 20 rebounding chances, that's a pretty strong opportunities for him to get at least 10. I think there's great push potential here at 10, obviously. I think this has a strong chance of bumping to maybe 10.5, even maybe 11 by the time the game tips off, in my opinion. We take a look at Jarrett Allen, though. In games when he's logged 30-plus minutes this season, the hit rate is extremely high for at least 10 rebounds. This is, I think, 25 games sample size, and he's just gone under this 7. So 18 of 25 games, he's had at least 10 rebounds when he plays 30-plus minutes, you guys. If we do this, 35, obviously the sample size will get a little smaller, but this is at home, by the way, too. Rebounding game log when he plays at home, 35-plus minutes. You can see here, pretty solid hit rate as well. What I like about this too, in this matchup, kind of what we saw in game 1, was Evan Mobley guarding Julius Randle, which is, Julius Randle obviously likes to play on the perimeter, likes to play in the top of the key, kind of. So it pulls Evan Mobley away from the basket, which really just leaves Jarrett Allen there to grab the rebounds, which is why obviously he saw 28 rebounding chances. And then Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein, both of those guys, the centers for the Knicks, can't really spread the floor at all offensively, so it just leaves Jarrett Allen firmly in the paint, which is going to give him greater rebounding opportunities. So this is going to be the first play here. It's going to be Jarrett Allen over 10 rebounds. We can see the odds for this one as well. He's listed at 10.5 on every sports book, so we get that great push potential. And then he's even listed at 11.5 on some sports books here. You can see your Unibet and Sugar House both have him at 11.5. So I like Jarrett Allen over 10 rebounds as the first play of the day. Hopefully he doesn't let us down. Or I know some of you guys probably remember that game where we had him, I think, for a fantasy score or points plus rebounds, and he got injured after 5 minutes. So Jarrett Allen seeing 40-plus minutes tonight should be stronger opportunities to grab 10 boards. And then the second play is going to be Kevin Durant. I'm going with his over 48.5 fantasy score. I think this is just, I don't know if we've been taking Kevin Durant as a fantasy score at all this season, but this just seems like a fun one to take and one that I feel like feels safe. So in game 1, he had 62.3 fantasy points in game 1. I'm definitely expecting the Suns to bounce back in game 2 here. Although it could be a close game, Phoenix is going to be 8.5-point favorites in this one. The interesting tidbit here is Scott Foster is reffing this game. We know Scott Foster and Chris Paul's relationship is a little bit weird. I think Chris Paul's his record when Scott Foster's the ref is pretty insane, as far as losses go. But Kevin Durant, I'm expecting him to bounce back here. Like I said, in game 1, he had 62.3 fantasy points, But he had 62.3 fantasy points, guys. But take a look at this. In the first quarter of that game, he had 0 points, shot 0 for 4, and had 1 rebound and 1 assist in 10 minutes. Right? So he played essentially in that game, he played 45 minutes. But let's take away, I mean, you take away those 10 minutes where he had 1 rebound and 1 assist, right? And he still finished, guys, with 62.3. So he essentially had 60 fantasy points in 3 quarters, guys, last game, in 35 minutes. I'm definitely expecting Kevin Durant to bounce back here. We can see here his fantasy score game log this season when he plays 35 plus minutes. Great hit rate, 48.5. So we're looking at, more than half the games he's hit the over on this. Hasn't had less than 40 fantasy points in pretty much like 23 of 25 games this season when he plays at least 35 plus minutes. I'm expecting him to easily play 35 plus minutes in this game. We can see here over his last 5 games, he is averaging, or actually on the season, let's just take a look. I mean, on the season, Kevin Durant is averaging 1.32 fantasy points per minute. 1.32 fantasy points per minute, you guys. If we see conservatively, Kevin Durant plays, let's just say he plays 36 minutes tonight, 1.32, that is 47.5 fantasy points conservatively for Kevin Durant, right? 47.5 is the conservative projection here. 48.5, in my opinion, just seems too low for a must-win game for the Phoenix Suns. And again, like I said, this is insane, guys. He finished with 62.3 fantasy points, and in the first quarter of game 1, he literally played 10 minutes, had 0 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Okay, so just take that in. Like I said, 1.32 fantasy points per minute on the season. Great hit rate when he plays 35 plus minutes here. Again, hasn't really played a ton of 35 plus minute games with Phoenix, right? So most of these games came with Brooklyn. He's back. He's looking fully healthy. Obviously, he played the most minutes on the team last game and only took 15 shots. He took 15 shots, guys. I can definitely see Kevin Durant shooting, close to 18 plus shots tonight. We saw when he was with Brooklyn, he was continually putting up 20 plus shots, right? All these 20 plus field goal attempt games were all with Brooklyn. Hasn't really had too many games with Phoenix where he's done that. So I definitely expecting Kevin Durant to kind of take over tonight. We look at the odds here. He's minus 120 on DraftKings to go over 41.5 PRA. His PRAs are listed on other sports books at 44, 44, and 45 here on Unibet. So consensus PRA is 43 flat at minus 115. So I love his chances for fantasy score in this matchup against the Clippers tonight. Again, he had 27 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. So love Kevin Durant tonight over 48.5 fantasy. I will have about 5 to 6 score plays on Patreon tonight, you guys. Hopefully we can get back into win column. It's been a rough couple of days for us here, but we continue to stay strong. We continue to, keep the process and stick with the methods. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these 2 plays. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.